Welcome to Homesroom. Just like Homeroom, we start off our day getting together with our homies, swapping stories, even a little kiss and tell action. This podcast contains language not suitable for younger listeners, topics about sex and mental health. Discretion is advised. Our views are our own. Let class begin. Welcome back to Homesroom. I just yelled in your ear on purpose because I wanted to be loud and obnoxious because this episode is probably going to be a little obnoxious. No, I'm just joking. What's up, Caitlin? How are you?
Hello, Matt. We are just hanging in for the hanging, you know? We're not even thriving or surviving. We're just existing to the next time I get to go to bed and chug caffeine the next morning. So just toddler mom perks and all the things that come with it. So what's up with you?
I'm enjoying being underemployed right now. I got like 2 more days before I go to in service for my new job, and then I got like a week before I actually start from there. So or at least I assume. I don't know. They haven't told me anything, which is kind of weird. But yeah, whatever. That's kind of the thing. Like you said, it made me think of what I used to say when we lived in Wyoming, because I say we lived in Wyoming. When I tell people the story, it's like, oh yeah, we didn't live in Wyoming. We survived in Wyoming. That's what we're doing right now. We are like, people on Mars, just like existing, but nobody can even like tell that we're existing. They're like, no, there's no water there. Nobody could exist there. There's no oxygen. Nobody could exist there. Here we are, just two of us floating around doing that thing.
I feel this. And I just recently actually on Instagram came across this concept that I really relate with just in this like fun random season of my life where creativity is still very difficult to grasp concretely for longer than like a 12-hour period consistently. My ADHD has just been kind of nuts. And life is just insane. I was, it's called Jumbly Ump is a page that I follow that makes pins. Mm-hmm. And I have already purchased 2 from her. It's a coffee cup with a skull on it that says "Death Before Decaf," so definitely on brand for the caffeine intake. And then I also bought another one from her that says "Deeds, Not Words," and I really love that. I legitimately wear both of them on my work backpack, so there's no question about where the fuck I stand on anything, you know?
Yeah.
She recently posted a new collection that was all about mental health and like chronic mental health issues that people are diagnosed with and have to learn to come to terms with and have, solid coping mechanisms to be able to function. And one of her new pins said it's a bundle of spoons with a ribbon around it. This is never enough spoons. And I was like, this is kind of weird. I mean, there's cool colors. I'm interested in it. And in the post where she debuted it and showed it off for the first time, she talks about how every person that kind of deals with, chronic issues of one thing or another, every day you wake up, you have a certain number of spoons worth of energy or spoons worth of focus that you can throw at one thing. And then that spoon is gone for the rest of the day. And I was explaining to my husband that concept because it just lately feels like there's just never enough spoons, like between work, between showing up to work on time without looking like a hot damn mess. That's a whole other spoon, especially, we don't have to get into standards of looks based on gender in this episode. That might be a rabbit hole, but for me, that's a spoon. Getting up on time, trying to get out the door with 2 kids to daycare before breakfast ends is another spoon. And lately, Matt, there's just never feels like there's enough spoons. I have to give it to my husband. I think he tried really hard to understand, but he was like, spoons? Like, I don't get it. Like from him, he's go, go, go all the time. And it takes a lot for him to actually slow down and give himself permission to rest. Where I feel like I don't necessarily work that way. And I think if you're not there experiencing it, it's probably difficult for you to understand, especially when your half awake nut of a wife is trying to explain to you about spoons before 6 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah. I feels. So when you process the like enough spoons. Somebody that I care about used to say that like they see the day as like percentages. So by the end of the day, they have, like 5%. But if they're given 100% of that last 5%, they are in fact giving you everything they got, even though it's only 5% in totality. Do you think that that's kind of the same thing, or do you think that operates kind of parallel, where it's like those spoons are more specific than that?
Ooh, I think it really depends on the day, to be quite honest. I keep thinking kind of along the lines of this topic. There's a comment that I left on a grief-related Instagram post that still to this day is getting likes, where it's like, giving yourself grace, and I'm really struggling. I have brain fog. I'm just not as productive. And I left a comment on that post that was something along the lines of, I really struggled with trying to hold myself to the same level of productivity as I was before that, event happened to me, or before I figured out what my diagnosis was and I sought treatment with medication, or before. When you're in an after whatever, you're not the same person that you were. So it's kind of a slippery slope and a futile mission to hold yourself to the same level of productivity that you were before. And I think, especially with my ADHD and just chronic fatigue, Matt, like I'm telling you, I could pass out for like 12 hours, hard sleep, not even a kid cry in sight to wake me from my 12-hour slumber. And it's like a soul tired. It's like something I know I would wake up still feeling exhausted. So, I don't know. It depends on the day, but if all we do is show up and accomplish one thing, and that's all the productivity that you display for the day, and you go to sleep and do maybe one or two the next day, that's okay. We've talked about it before on the podcast. I'm my own harshest critic, and it's really difficult for me to hold myself to any standard than something that's unachievable. And I constantly feel like I miss the mark. So it's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black. I'm so easy to tell you and all my homies and all the people that I love that, like, hey, be kind to yourself. Give yourself some grace. It's okay that you didn't operate at 1,000,000,000% today, or write a whole chapter of your book, or read all your work emails, or accomplish every single thing on your to-do list. It's okay if you just marked one thing off. Meanwhile, in my own head, I'm like, so I don't know. Now we're just in this fun season of life where there's never enough spoons. And I feel like I might need to get Post Malone "Always Tired" tattoos under my eyes.
Yeah,
but
there you go.
Thank God for concealer,
I don't know that life, unfortunately. Concealer is not in my toolbox, so I don't. Maybe I'll have to figure that out one day.
It's a good tool to have if you're gonna open your horizons to anything makeup front. I would encourage it to be concealer. Okay, so I had two things for you to surprise you with. First and foremost, it's a question to you, followed up with a follow-up story. Can you please share with us the horrific Instagram post where you just recently shared casually a picture of a black widow that you have somehow stumbled upon?
Yeah, so I'm trying to do that super trendy thing where you post a bunch of random images, I assume throughout your day, throughout your week, whatever it is. And while we were unloading a pallet, I was the logistics manager, so like we unload pallets and stuff like that. And this pallet came from Texas, I believe. And while we were unloading it, one of the guys was like, "Hey, there's a spider right there." And then I looked down and I was like, "Oh yeah, there is." And he was like, "I think it's a black widow." And then I leaned over and I was like, "Oh, it is a black widow." So I took a picture, but then we saved it and took it outside while thinking, I wonder if there's a natural predator to this spider, and did we just screw up the habitat behind the building where we unleashed a poisonous spider, and now there's 3 weeks later all the trees are going to die or something stupid. But mostly that was just a joke. But yeah, no, it was a pallet from Texas that had a black widow in it, and I grew up in Maryland, so I'm used to seeing them. They're super common there. So like I was like, hey, I haven't seen one of these since I was like a teenager. I appreciate the face you're making.
I just the Black Widow, poisonous spiders, the thing that it's so small and can just pop up out of nowhere and just bite you and then you die. I'm like, ooh, don't like that. Don't like that. Okay, so I saw your Instagram post and your pictures were artistic. I really loved it. The caption spoke to me. The caption had nothing to do with your spider. It had something to do with, you know, being creative and seeking the small moments of creativity in your daily life. Like, it just spoke to me. I loved it. However, smartass me decided to comment on that Instagram post and say, you got to burn down the entire building you found that Spidey in. And lo and behold, I hit post and then I got a notification from Instagram that my comment had been removed for hate speech. It goes against hate speech or hate speech guidelines. Comments promoting hate speech, comments that this is why it got deleted. The second bullet point. Comments that encourage violence or attack anyone based on who they are or specific threats of physical harm, theft, or vandalism. So pro tip, if you want to be a smartass like me and tell your friend jokingly, you got to burn down the entire building you found that Spidey in, your comment's going to get deleted. And I didn't get like an account ban or anything. I was just like, huh. So I screenshotted it and I wanted to save that to share with you on the podcast because I was really trying to engage in your content, Matt.
Yeah. Well, number one, I guess that just goes to show, like, and this is kind of on topic for like the episode, which is, you know, we're talking about unthankful and we'll get into that. But like, I've been talking about AI and how like kind of silly AI is at times. Like, you and I, our names are spelled differently, so they're not the standard spellings of stuff. They're an alternative spelling. We would argue that they're the right way to spell it because it's just the way we spell it. So every time the AI predicts our names in our like captions and stuff that are AI generated, it's always wrong, and I can't. Every time I fix it, it just the next time it's messed up, and then the next time, so it's like I gave up. I stopped trying to fix it. They were just spelled wrong because people don't understand. So that's just another instance where AI is not where it needs to be. However, they made a movie, actually a series of movies, about what happens when AI gets to that point. It's called The Terminator. So maybe I'm good with AI being stupid.
Dog, come on, man. You're going to really throw that? So also, speaking of which, I've been mindlessly doom scrolling because that's just where I'm at right now. And so much of my content right now is all about like AI and free editing tools and like all kinds of like, here's this hack and here's how everyone that's in their 20s is making $100,000 a month with the help of AI and content recycling and all this crazy stuff. And I'm just like, that like, maybe a rabbit hole when we're talking about AI. I do not want to talk about the Terminator. Come on, Matt. But I've been seeing too, I feel like I know some creators who have told me straight to my face, to my earballs, that they use AI to think creatively for them. And every single like caption or podcast title or description, like everything that they are pumping out creatively, you can tell that AI is writing it for them. It's like a try hard tone where like, you know, like it's just like super like sounding robotic. Like and maybe it's just the AI that they're using. There's a podcast that I've watched before called the H3 podcast, and Ethan Klein sent a letter to another company's lawyers, and it was something, you know, he's in all kinds of like lawsuits and stuff recently. So whatever. But he sent this email. He shared it on a stream and he was like, you know what? Some of you guys in the comments said, oh, I bet Chat GPT wrote this email for you. And he was like, and you're right. Like, like you can just tell that AI wrote it. And I think it's maybe a matter of time before we will not really be able to tell the difference between AI and human creativity. I just maybe am of the optimistic mindset that AI won't necessarily be able to 100% replace human creativity. I don't know.
I hope that that's the way it goes. I'm I'm neither for nor against AI specifically because I see the benefits. I also see the negatives. Like, for instance, every time I tried to use it to create an image, it just changes my race. I become a white dude. Or I like vaguely Filipino, I think is one of them. Is like, it was just like weird, like some sort of, I clearly was not myself, and my hair was straight, and I was like, huh, I don't know what this is. I don't got this. That's not me. And I had a beard in one of them, which I grow shitty facial hair, so that's not a thing that I would ever do. So like, it's like, come on now, man. Like, I'm done. After it turned me, it gave me like it gave me a fade, straight hair, like weirdly like gray bluish eyes and a beard, and I was like, nope, I'm done with this. I'm no longer trying to do any of this stuff with AI because like it's changed. It's not performing for me the way that it is performing these cool pictures for everybody else. So, but no, like I said, I think that there is like definite advantages. Like the medical research field has been using AI to predict certain things, and it's actually been helping them from what I've read. But then, like, as far as art goes, I think that creating art with AI is a slippery slope. But I also I don't think that people are as proud of art created by AI versus a human, and I think that thing is always going to stand there, and I hope that that's always going to be the way it is. But that's just like my personal opinion on it. Not like it could be whatever. Art could be pretty because it's art. Like, I just posted a thing to my Instagram where I bought a painting from my friend that I've had my eye on for forever, and she decided that she was cleaning out some stuff in her house and was going to sell it, and now it's up in the recording space, which is like just off camera. I don't know, maybe you could see like the very corner of it, but like it's beautiful, and AI might be able to produce something like that, but it's not from my friend, it's from AI. So
yeah, I feel that. I have a insanely talented photographer friend called Brian Burks, and he I just trusted his creative vision so much. He did the pictures for my wedding, and I was like, use me and my husband as your guinea pigs. Like, please, you do. I trust your creative vision. Anything that you want to do. We were the first wedding that he ever did on film. And let me tell you, Matt, the pictures were stunning. And he's here from Missouri, but he recently has started doing some work for the New York Times, like going out and taking pictures and film photography of all of the like tornadoes that recently happened here that caused all the massive devastation. Like, he went out on behalf of the New York Times to go like document history, which is so fucking cool. Like, yes, AI probably could make me look a certain type of way, for my wedding, but that's not going to be my friend and somebody that I'm really proud to cheer on that, takes those pictures. So I don't know. The human connection part of it is weird, but I've also seen it was the super popular app that everybody was using to make avatars, the AI generated avatars. Made some really cool pictures of me. I did absolutely use it.
Yeah.
And it caused, I don't remember seeing any specific information about why or how, but I just saw all the outrage saying that AI steals art from other artists and just mashes it all together without giving credit to the actual true inspiration or whoever actually came up with that, style in the first place. I never really saw true examples of this was the original painting and this is how AI stole it. So I'm probably grossly uneducated about the topic. I just remember seeing all of the massive outrage. Do you remember when that app just recently came out? It was like in the last year, maybe?
Yeah. I mean, understanding kind of the principle, I think, of how AI works is like it searches the internet, comes up with images, comes up with predictions, all that kind of thing, and then ones and zeros happen, and then it creates this image. So I could see how like that could be what it's doing, is it's finding one of them, like a popular art style that it just comes across in a search like a million times of like this art style, and it
blends that art style and the image that you're trying to turn into art, or more art, different art, whatever, into one. So it would be stealing that artist's particular style. I can see that, but that's the whole thing with AI is it's like once you turn it on, it does whatever it does, and it's hard to it doesn't show its work. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of a slippery slope, I guess. Also, was that just one of your two things, or was there a second thing?
No, there was a second thing.
Okay. What's the second thing?
No, we just went down an AI rabbit hole. Sorry. Okay. So also doom scrolling on Instagram. This is a fun little impromptu game that we're going to play. I'm going to read you 5 things. Backtracking. I was doom scrolling on Instagram and I showed I came across this reel where this guy was talking about how every year there's this writing contest to write the worst opening sentence of a story. And the 2023 winners have been released. So I want to read you some of the worst opening lines. And after, I want you to listen to the things that are about to come out of my face because they're absolutely bonkers. And rate on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being absolutely awful. Like if this is the first line that you read in a book or an essay, you're shutting the damn thing and it's going on your did not finish list forever and ever, all eternity. So 1 to 10, 10 being the worst. Okay. So the only prompt that they got was just write the worst opening line that you can think of. Okay. Ready? We're coming out swinging with the first one. He was short and fat like his penis, which was also both. But this story is not about his penis, but about him instead.
Wow. Yeah.
1 to 10, what is that? And would you continue to read something where that is the first line?
1 to 10 being like 1 being the worst, or 10 being like really bad?
10 being the worst, 10 being I would absolutely not finish this. Like 5 being like, okay, that's definitely notable, but I think maybe I'd like check out the next line or so to see if I'd finish, like continue reading it.
Maybe a 3. Maybe a 3 because like I don't know, or I guess no, technically a 6. I guess it would be the other way. It would be a 6.
Okay,
like,
yeah, sorry.
Yeah. That backwards my mind a little bit. A 6.
My scale might not be making complete sense, but it's okay. All right, so it's a 3. Next one. The night was black and thick, thickening every minute, as though some dark god had mixed the darkness with flour, cornstarch, or some other thickening agent.
That one is like a solid 8 for being bad, but like I think I would have to know what the title of this is, because if it was like a kid's book, I might be into it. If it was like an adult book, I'm probably like maybe not.
Okay, that is a good like qualifier. I totally think that but it's like, as far as I know, this contest did not have any type of like genre specific. It was just make the most awful combination of words that you can think of and submit it. Okay. So, next one. Detective Shepard was a toothbrush of the law, scrubbing the plaque of criminality from the bloody gums of society.
Oh my god, that sounds like a really, really bad, like, that one's a 10. That one sounds like a really bad, like 50s crime novel where, like, the writer was told, like, yeah, just bang out a couple pages, it'll be all right. And nobody ever read a thing that they wrote prior.
Okay. I guess crime was definitely present on the list of top winners. So, next one. Another murder. I hate these crimes, said Inspector Jack Slayton. He hated them even more than he hated other crimes.
Yeah, that one's definitely a 10 for bad. Like, that one I would not continue to read. Nah.
Okay, you would absolutely not continue that one?
No, I would not.
Okay. Last one. Oh, sorry. I lost my spot. I just have a whole list screenshot in front of me. Then I'm like, okay, last one. It was really happening. Jesse Evans was dumping that bitch Kathleen. And 2 lunch tables away, Haley's heart was pumping like its life depended on it. Oh my God.
That one sounds so teen angsty. I think I'm a 7 or an 8 on that one. I'm just curious enough, but not so curious that I really want to continue reading. I might give you another page, another line or paragraph, I guess.
That one was a specific call to me of horribleness because of the heart was pumping like its life depended on it. Like, oh my God. Okay. Absolutely redundancy. But that being said, if you believe it or not, every writer has written a god-awful opening sentence or whatever the hell sentence that has ended up in their works in progress drafts just like those. And I'm still here today on my cheerleading, I guess, battlefront of encouraging everybody to write a story. I genuinely believe that everyone has a story to tell. And if you're terrified of sitting down to write because you're worried that like some god awful garbage like that is going to come out of your fingers or your brain, do it anyways, because all of those might be contest winning, terrible opening sentences. But in any works of progress, those probably would have been slashed in the editing process and something better taken its place.
Yeah.
Everybody right. Speaking of which, Matt, how do things go on the writing front?
Good. I'm getting reinvigorated, I guess. I came up with a plan. My strategy is to now, I used to be able to come home for lunch, but I won't be able to come home for lunch. So I'm going to take my computer to work with me. And on my lunch break, I'm going to try and write. And I'm going to try and get the art taken care of over the next couple of weeks, maybe because I have the time off. So I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do. I did get on Fiverr and start trying to look for people, but everybody that has reached out to me is not exactly what I'm looking for. And I don't want to deal with somebody from a different country specifically because I don't want it to be a language barrier and then a time frame thing. There's too much there. So I got to reevaluate that strategy if I'm going to go that route. But yeah, I mean, all right. I did post, and this is what made me think of it. I did post the first page of I guess it would be kind of a prologue, but not really a prologue. It's the first page. However, the way I've sequenced it in this book, it is before the title page, kind of like when you watch a crime drama and they show the case and then everything happens, like the credits and all that stuff. So I kind of went with the vibe like that because I wanted to feel a little bit different than other things that you've read. But I did post, the first page of that, and I hope people read it. I posted 2 versions because the first one just was the image in my head and it worked, but you couldn't read it as well. And then I posted the second image so you could actually read it. But yeah, I'm trying to get, like I said, I'm trying to get inspired, and with that story and that kind of thing, I most definitely can relate to bad opening lines because it's how do I start this story? And like you said, just start the story. You can change that later. Just get it going. Yep.
And you might have something like her heart was beating wildly, its life depended on it. But it'll be something better that takes its place. It'll be fine.
Like a heart rolling out of a tin onto the girl's shoes. That's the direction I went. Quite literally. So
okay, yes, absolutely. We love it. We love the zombie apocalypse genre. Okay,
that's the crime drama. That's the
that's
10 Hearts. Yeah, that's the 10 Hearts opening is the heart rolls out onto this jogger's shoes. She's jogging her normal path for the day, and before her morning starts, going to work and all that kind of stuff, and then she finds a note on top of a tin. It says "for you," and it's a tin heart like you would get at Valentine's Day. So she assumes, damn, I must have an admirer who knows I stop here every day because this is my stopping point. So it must be for me, right? She makes the mistake of opening it up, and it rolls out onto her feet, and it's a human heart. So yeah, that kicks
Ooh.
off our serial killing. But
I
yeah,
love
so,
it. And also very derative of one of my favorite authors and poets, Edgar Allan Poe. So
yeah,
I'm very excited to read the rest of that.
good. So switching gears. Were there other questions you had, or was
Nope.
that it? All right.
That was all
So
I'm trying to surprise you with. Those are all the rabbit holes that we need
all
to
right.
fall down today.
I like that. If you ever got more of those, definitely use them. I appreciate that. Like I said, I want this episode to be kind of fun. I guess I didn't say that on air. I said that off air, but I wanted this episode to be fun. So hopefully that was fun for you guys. I set out to do. This is probably going to air the week of Thanksgiving, I believe, is if I got my schedule right, or at least somewhere around there. So I was like, I don't know what to do when we were talking about maybe doing it like what we're thankful for. And, I was like, okay, yeah. And it's like, I'll put a feeler out on Instagram because like you guys did really good the last time I put a feeler out there and got some like opinions for things. And then this time it did not. It kind of fell on its face. So like nobody responded with like things that I could make into a topic. So I was like, man, I don't know. I'm not really feeling it. And then my workplace went crazy and it was my last week, so I didn't get to plan it in the way I wanted to, but I did get some responses and I do want to read those just because they are what they're thankful for, and that was the whole point, is I was gonna read them. So this one says, everything, life is going well right meow, with a like loving emoji. So like, congratulations, I'm glad that that's the way that was going for you, and I hope that at this point it is still going good for you.
And also bonus points for working in a Super Troopers reference.
Fair. And bonus points from Caitlin. This one says, my husband and my education, good for you. Those are definitely two things that, like, if you are convicted in and, super strong belief in, they will take you places. Hopefully both of them will take you to places you want to go and not like a cemetery in the trunk of a car. But there's that. This one says, drive time to listen to books, podcasts, and music, soon to be actual weekends with my fam. So that one's nice. And this one just says specifically you with a star, and that is from one of my friends. So I appreciate that one. That one made me smile. But yeah, those are really hard to turn into like what we could be thankful for as a topic. So what we decided to do was what we are unthankful for, things that we are not thankful for. And can I hit you first with one of mine, because I want to make you laugh.
Absolutely.
You can say what you're gonna say first, but I just want to go first when we get to this.
Absolutely, please do.
All right. So my first thing that I'm not thankful for is windshield tint. Windshield tint is one of the most annoying things in the world to me. Because yeah, exactly, right? Because I can't see what you're doing, and half the time it looks like you're waving me on, but I can't tell if you're waving me on because I physically cannot see you. And then it just poses the question to me, like, what? That's got to be awful for law enforcement. Like, how do you even like approach this car knowing, is somebody in it, is somebody not in it? And then it made me think, what about the car hop at like Sonic coming out to you, or is like, is somebody in this car? Are they? No. Are you? And then the window rolls down awkwardly and they were staring at you the whole time. No, that's just terrible. I'm not thankful for windshield tint. Stop doing it.
And that's on period. Matt said what he said. Y'all
like
better come correct in response to that.
It's just so silly. Anyway,
in my experience, if it's a vehicle with heavy windshield tint, 100% validate your struggle, because I absolutely do feel that. I will also say that my husband, I used to have a what is it? Shit, what did I have? Oh, it was a little GM scooter, little black speedster car that would get me all over the place in Denver. And I am a city driving gal, even now to this day, when I don't live in a city anymore. He went out and got my windows tinted for my birthday, and it was one of the nicest. I was like, oh my gosh, I genuinely feel so much safer in my vehicle because I'm not driving around in a fishbowl. And now that I have another vehicle that has lighter tint on it, or like hardly any tint, I'm like, okay, I understand. Like, yeah, but also, Matt, in my personal experience, most of the cars that I've been around with that have really heavy windshield tint are cops.
Yeah, fair.
Or undercovers. So,
yeah.
I totally get that though. It's also super difficult already when you're like in a certain intersection and nobody knows what's going on. I'm like, are you letting me go? I don't know. I just always go. I'm an aggressive driver. I don't know if that's good or bad thing, but whatever. My unthankful thing today, which is such a petty thing, definitely a first world problem, but it really just irritated the shit out of me this morning, is automatic restarts on your work computer that you cannot delay.
Yes.
or you cannot like kick the can down the road any further, or you can't just say like, oh, remind me like 5 minutes before the deadline, and then like 10 minutes later it's like, surprise bitch, now's the deadline.
Yep.
And you're in the middle of 10 different fucking things, and then your computer just restarts and you have no say in the matter. You just either lose some stuff, thank God for auto recover, or you just have to open up your 60 windows that you had open. And that's what I'm unthankful for today.
Can I say something? Can I say something about that?
Of course.
So
of course.
At my former job, we have tasks that were due. We go in at 4, and I've talked about that. We have tasks that are due by 8 a.m. They close hard deadline at 8 a.m. You cannot do them. And if you do not make that deadline, you just have to do the thing again tomorrow from start to finish. Like, it doesn't save it. It's just gone. It goes as unposted, and that's it, right? So at 7:45, we were going to submit it, and we took extra time because we were like, oh, we got extra time to look into this stuff a little bit further. Let's like really dive deep because it wasn't that hard. We should be able to do it. We'll take as much time as we possibly need. I was like, budgeted for a 15-minute window so we can verify, make sure everything works. Should be fine. And then the damn computer restarted. And then by the time we could get logged in on the other computer and back to where we were and make all of the necessary adjustments, it was like literally 7:59 in like 42 seconds. And it was like, I would have been so mad. So yeah, I feel that pain. That's stupid. Don't do it. That is it. Like, I get that we work at night, so like it was supposed to probably do it overnight. But yeah, no, that is when people show up and when people leave. Somebody at IT has access to that information. Damn it, do it then.
That was just something I had happen to me this morning at work, and I was like, bitch, you're going up to the top of my unthankful list.
All right. So I appreciate it. And like I said, I hope everybody out there, you're also like screaming like, oh my God, yeah. So like this one for me, if I may continue, is one that like bugs me. And it's not like I have to tell the story to explain it. And then it's not the story that bugs me. It's the reaction afterwards that bugs me. So race car driver, not really that famous, kind of famous, said he liked the tweet. You might have seen it in the because it's kind of been everywhere, or media outlets. He liked a tweet that was about George Floyd, and it was super inappropriate. Yeah, it was super inappropriate, making fun of it, and he got suspended for it because, like, obviously that's not like it's an insensitive thing to do. So that's a problem in itself, but not what my unthankful thing is. He came out and he said, I made a mistake, plain and simple. Like, I should have realized how insensitive that was, and that it wasn't something that like I should have done. So like he owned up to it, whatever, fine. He's going to take his lumps. He's going to do whatever he's going to do, whether he loses his job, whether he loses sponsors, whatever happens, he's taking credit for that. So like, I don't care about that part. That's whatever. What I do like find annoying and I'm not thankful for is social media like acolytes, where people come into the comments and they're like, what, we can't even like posts anymore. Oh my gosh, all he did was like a post. Haven't you ever liked a post by accident? This, that, and the other thing. And like, to me, those are all valid arguments if he was a normal person. He's kind of famous and contracted to a company to be a figurehead and to be sponsored by. You can like whatever you want because you're not fucking famous. Nobody cares. Just like me with this microphone. The people who care, maybe care, but like for the most part, my opinion doesn't really hold any weight or matter. Just like your opinion doesn't matter. His opinion only matters because he signed a contract that says I will abide by these rules, and if I don't abide by these rules, I lose my job. So it's not that he doesn't have First Amendment. It's not that they're just being sticklers. It's not that they're, anything to that nature. He signed a contract saying, I will do these things and represent this company and these sponsors in the way that they see fit. And should I not do that, they have the right to suspend me. That's why he got suspended. So my unthankful thing is like social media acolytes, like get out of the comments, go do some research, realize that your opinion, while you're entitled to it, doesn't necessarily make you smart. So yeah, that's it. That's what I got.
Let me 100% retweet. Absolutely understand. But can I also point out to these individuals who are super selective about their outrage regarding First Amendment issues that they're very likely also, like, if the randoms in comments who are talking about like a Venn diagram, one side is talking about First Amendment, the other side's talking about capitalism and like everything that comes with it. It's not a Venn diagram, it's a circle. So you can't necessarily have a full and robust conversation about the entirety of the situation without understanding and at least acknowledging how capitalism and business ventures and the rights of a private fucking business and enterprise are when you have someone who has entered into a contractual agreement to abide by certain levels and standards of conduct that personally, 100% what you're saying, reflect that corporation. It is well within their rights to hold that person accountable for not fulfilling their part of that business agreement. Henceforth, here too, literally all completely explained by the elements of capitalism, all the elements, standards, all of it with capitalism. So, you know, I didn't see the tweet. I don't necessarily want to see the tweet. You've told me all that I want to really know about it, to be quite frank. But I know exactly the type of person that you're talking about too, because it's all the same people that get all up in arms about what is this LGBTQIAZYX whatever. Okay, well, is this a free country and we have freedom of speech and expression, or is it not? Like, what are we doing here? Because if you another rabbit hole, Matt, here we go. Yeah. You want to talk about these drag queens that are allegedly indoctrinating your children? Well, then let's talk about the church, Steve.
So
I don't know anybody actually named Steve that does this. It's just a generic name of
fuck you,
whoever fits that stereotype. Yeah.
So that's my thing is like, these are the same people that'll be in the comments of like a teacher that's getting, fired and like dragged through court and all that stuff for having an OnlyFans to make ends meet. But it's like that is the same thing. So she's not free to do what she wants. Like, well, I don't understand. Like hers were behind a paywall. So the only reason somebody found that out is because they went there.
They paid.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so you got like, why don't you just chill out, back it up a little bit, think about the fact that like, dude's got a job. Let me walk into your job, slap you in the face, and see what you do. And if you get mad enough to slap me back, I'm gonna be like, hey, you at work. He was at work. Like see how that works? You do something at work, and I guarantee they're gonna fire you. They ain't gonna fire me because I don't fucking work here. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I totally I feel that. And either this is a place where these things can happen in a full umbrella or they're not. And, I also want to preface this with saying that like our ranting maybe sounds like it's aligned with one political party over the other. Selective outrage is a bipartisan issue. Everyone does it to fit their own agenda. I'm sure at some point that I have done it. But that doesn't make us any less unthankful for it.
Yeah, exactly. That's legitimately, like, point blank. That has nothing to, like, from my standpoint on that particular unthankful topic. I don't care. It wasn't even political. It literally was the fact that like you don't know what you're talking about. It could have been friggin' Heinz mustard, and you were like, well, the caps are stupid, and it's like the caps are designed to keep the mustard from drying out. Go do some research on why that cap is there before you start talking about how stupid it is. I literally just do some research, shut your face. That's all I got.
All right. My next unthankful thing. And why I have this sitting on my desk, if you can't see it, it is a mat remover for a cat. And I'm going to say my unthankful list is cats that don't like to groom themselves, i.e. my cat. She's had like, and first of all, if you have a cat that doesn't like to groom themselves, please do not waste the money on these stupid gadgets that don't actually do anything. This didn't work. I just got scratched. She just doesn't, it doesn't work. I just wasted stupid stuff to have on hand as a show and tell item for my unthankful list years down the road for in a podcast with my homie Matt. She is very finicky. She didn't want to groom herself. She needed to lose some weight, but I don't know if it's just me not being a very knowledgeable cat owner. We rescued her. She's one of the only cats that I've ever had in my life. And let me tell you, it's hard to have full-time jobs and 2 kids and to be very busy, to be functioning adults, and also still want to do right by your animals. I wish I could be here and be more present and engage in play, or like what is it, like the mindfulness tools or like the toys that dogs have, that cats have. Really, they just like chasing each other around my house. So that's the most knowledge or stimulation that they get. So
homeward bound.
No, I mean, yeah, it's I don't know. I never thought I'd be a cat person. The day that we adopted her, my husband and I were like, we live in Denver. We're kind of like itching to like, embark on a hobby. So our decision was either go to Target and go look at bikes so that we could start bike riding with each other, or go to the animal shelter to look.
Yeah.
We got a cat. So
yeah. I feels.
And if you have any tips on how to make your cat actually give a shit and want to groom themselves, hit me up.
Yeah, those gadgets, like, I think for every like 5 you get, 1 works. That's kind of like, I feel like that's how that's your odds are good if you buy a bunch, but your odds are not good if you just get got every once in a while, because it seems like a good idea.
Yeah, my other tchotchke for animal grooming was an automatic nail grinder for my dog, which Jack was very freaked out by the noise of it, and it never even worked, and he's just a big old chicken. So don't buy into the TikTok hype. You don't need to buy all these fancy toys. Just take her to the vet, and he'll pop back, get them all out, and the rest is history.
Yeah, that's... Animals are animals are a different animal. That is definitely how that goes.
True.
Our dog that we lost during COVID, like, I feel like everybody that I know has like an animal they lost during COVID, but like our dog that we lost during COVID was like completely different than the dog we have like now. And it sucks because like they had just started to get along to the point where like they would play with each other and it wouldn't like drop into like one of them being annoyed and like nippy at the other for a second, and then you throw a cat in the mix and like who knows what's going to happen. It was like tossing a grenade in the room and closing a door. Like, hopefully everybody makes it out, but you never know. Like now we just have the dog that like he chased pucks. That was all he really wanted to do when we first got him, and then like he kind of gave up on that, and then like I think he got a bout of depression when we lost our other dog, and then like toys have never been his thing. Like, doesn't like tug of war. Like he will play tug of war with my thumb before he'd ever play tug of war with like a toy. Like, he just doesn't care. He wants to try and like bite your hand, or like, I shouldn't say bite your hand, but like nibble at your hand and like try and like close his mouth before you move your hand, kind of thing, and maybe wrestle around a little bit, but like he just wants to be on top of you. Like, he doesn't care about playing, doesn't care about anything, and he's a pit mix. And he's not very small, so he's a giant dude to just be like, hey, I see you on the other side of the couch. I'm going to come to your side of the couch and get
lap
right
dog.
up in, yeah, exactly. Get right up in your shit. So it's like, I feel bad because I want to play with him, but he doesn't, like, that's not his thing. He just wants to chill. And the cat is the same way. Like, she just wants to chill. She might come play with you, might come, like get a little snuggles from me. Everybody else apparently she hates, but it's like both of them just do the same thing. So whenever I'm around them, they're just like magnets stuck to me. So like, I feel that, and it becomes like, makes me feel like I don't do as much as a pet owner. as I would want to do, but then I have to remind myself that like they have personalities and things that they like and don't like to do, and like I can't change that. No matter what I do, I can't make them be like, hey, come play with this toy. Like what did we get the last time? I got like some like mice or something that have like little beads in them, so when they roll around the floor they make noise. And this fucking cat looked at me like, I'm glad you're having fun, because I don't care. I was like, fuck off, man. And then, like I heard him moving and I thought, oh man, she must be playing with them. It was the damn dog's tail smacking them across the ground. And I was like, nobody's playing with them. Neither one of you cares. So glad I wasted like $7 on these things.
At the end of the day, there's really not a whole lot different between being a parent to fur children or real life children. You're still going to bed nervous that you didn't do enough for them. You're still concerned if they're learning enough, if they're doing, psychologically appropriate things in their behavior, if they're eating the right food. And no matter what, the person next to you always looks like on face value that they've got their shit more together than you do. Yeah. So just like, God.
That's definitely the way I see it as well. Funny story. We have like our wedding pictures in like this frame. It's got like a bigger picture and then two smaller pictures and a bigger picture down at the bottom. We have some like little knick-knacky things that like Courtney and I have given each other over the years, from like when we first met till like now, like sitting on them because it's kind of a shadow boxy thing. And it's sitting in a spot that Lincoln has almost constantly run into or knocks over or bumps into. And it was like, man, like just stop going that close to the wall right there. Like, just don't do it. And it's kind of low, so it's like just above head height for her. So like the thing hangs down to like maybe like hip height, I guess, because it's the long frame. And today she knocked it over, hit the ground, didn't break any glass, but like the frame itself came apart. And she was like, I'm sorry. And I was like, Lincoln, like, how often do you get in trouble? Like, why are you responding like that? I don't know. And then she started backing up. It's like when like a dog will like cower and stuff. And it's like, Lincoln, when have you ever been hit? I don't know. It's like, so why are you reacting like that? Like, just don't, like, we told you stop doing that. Don't play over there. So like, here you are playing over there. Like, pay attention. Don't knock stuff up. Maybe if you cleaned up your toys, you'd have more room to play. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But it's just so funny because like you said, you can't, like, there's not much you can do differently. There's not, things are things, and you take every moment as they come when you're a parent of four-legged or I used to say fur, but like maybe you have a hairy child. I don't know, so I don't want to say fur as in like animal, but you got stuff to do. Also, you just laughed, and I wanted to point this out, and I kept like cycling the note in my head, and this is the perfect time to bring it up because I just made you like belly laugh from what that looked like. Oh my God, when I was reading the transcript to make that post.
Oh my God.
This video I made didn't work out because like it only did like half the audio. I don't know what happened. And I was like, well, I'll just do some posts with the transcript. And like I haven't done one of those in a while. And then I was scrolling, and I came across this giant chunk of just ha 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 ha. And I was like,
it wasn't
oh
even ha, it was heh.
Yeah, I guess it was. It was so funny. I was like, I've never seen that written out in that block of it. I was like, man, this is definitely a screenshot.
First of all, AI that did your transcription, and I know it was AI that did it because I use the same fucking software. Rude. I don't even sound like when I laugh. It is a deep ha or a high pitched ha, depending on the belly laugh. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, if there's ever been a question of us not having a good time here on the Homesroom podcast, just take a look at that screenshot or, that transcript screenshot and tell me how much I laughed. I remember when we were talking about that too, because I was like looking at the line above. I was like, what were we even talking about? I'm like, oh, that's when you were talking about asking Courtney out on the first date and doing the whole stereotypes of movies and all that. Yeah. But no, I love that. It was a deep belly laugh when I was reading my own deep belly laugh. So that's super meta. So thanks for that, Matt.
It was good.
So I don't have any other unthankfuls, but I do have a That's What She Said that's very appropriate for this time of the year.
Yeah, let's do it.
Friends, family, loved ones. This is, I'm caressing my mic just to explain to you how much I really feel what I'm going to share this week on That's What She Said. And that is a reminder of your boundaries that you have with family members and friends and loved ones who are not healthy or positive for you to be around. With Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, the holiday season being upon us, this is your permission to not give anyone a second of your time, space, or energy. If you don't feel like you're walking away from that interaction feeling better, feeling lighter, feeling like you learned something positive, a reminder for you to go continue to go no contact with toxic family members like I have painfully had to do myself. And if you have been in the position where you've had to decide to go no contact with somebody for your own mental health, your own boundaries, for your peace, I'm proud of you. If you're nervous about going no contact with someone, your future self will thank you if that's something that it comes down to that you feel like you have to do. But you do not have to answer every phone call. You do not have to answer every text. You do not have to go to every single family function. You do not have to stay at every family function longer than you're comfortable, than you want to. I feel like there's so many people that just put on a face or endure the suffering of family functions around the holidays because they feel obligated. They feel like they have to be there. Life is too short for you to be in a room where you do not feel respected, loved, or wanted. And especially with Thanksgiving coming around, you have full permission and you are allowed to set those boundaries for yourself, your mental health, your peace, your heart, all of the fun things and fruity, silly white bitch, the hot button topics that we love. But you do not have to put yourself through anything that you don't feel like is happy, healthy, or growing for you. So, that's what she said, Matt, this week. And I'll say that every week too. Nobody's entitled to your peace or your time.
I like, what do you kids say now? Retweet, right? That's what it is.
I just say that because I'm an annoying bitch, Matt.
I don't even know what it is now because it's X. I have a Twitter that I've never used, so I keep getting emails from X parentheses formerly Twitter, and I'm like, really? That's what we're doing? Get out of here! So
Elon took that joke away from me. What an asshole!
Damn it. But yeah, so I agree with that. I think that 100%. I have just gotten to the point where I feel comfortable not responding to texts and not having to give a reason. Like, there's sometimes where like you have to be like, okay, look, like you're continuing to text me and I need to explain to you that I'm not responding to be disrespectful, but like I can't with this right now. So like, please stop. But like I said, if it doesn't serve me, I just got to the point where I feel like confident in that. And I feel, like I'm not being rude or mean or, it's not, the Christian thing to do. Like, it's literally, I don't have space for this right now, and it doesn't serve me. It's not like nothing good is going to come from that. And, if I have to block that person on social media, if I have to remove that follower, if I have to like whatever it is, whether it's family or not, friends, family, acquaintances, people's pet accounts, whatever the extent it has to go to, like definitely do it. I agree with that.
Well, especially in the day-to-day when there's not enough spoons, there's definitely less spoons in the holiday season, as a callback to very first conversation of our episode. You see what I did there, Matt?
It's a circle. It's not a square. It's a circle. Yeah. See, I'm glad that we recorded this, and normally this is like when we have this conversation afterwards. But I'm glad we recorded this, and I'm glad that we had this conversation because I laughed a lot and I feel a lot better than I did going in. And
oh my God,
that's what we needed.
Fuck $120 therapy session. I'm just gonna go sit and talk and record with my homie Matt, bro. Come on now.
Yeah, so there you go. Find a friend, start a podcast, and stop spending money. No, I'm just joking. Flood the podcast market with podcasts of people laughing with their friends. I would love that. Any closing notes from you, Caitlin?
I've said so much and nothing at the same time this entire episode, Matt. We love you guys. Thank you so much for giving us even a minute of your time. It's always a joy to hang out with you guys every week. Please give us some feedback, leave a review, cop a free sticker, let us know what you're doing with them. And we adore you guys and adore you too, Matt. We'll talk next week when next week's going to be a better week than last week was. How's that?
Yeah, perfect. You took the words right out of my mouth. Bye.
The bell is about to ring. If you want to drop us a voice message or simply ask a question, you can do that by clicking the link in the show notes below. Be sure to leave us a 5-star review. It helps more people find us. Theme music by Kinsey. More music available on Spotify. Remember, every day is a class. Go learn something.